Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Friday follow-up in the continuing journey of accountability. I'd like to get the accountability part right out of the way first thing this morning. Weighed in last night and I had a loss, 0.8, but it's a loss. And like I said, been struggling and we'll get there sooner or later. But what I want to talk to you folks about today is something that what I call or a series of events that really aren't connected, but when you look deeply into what happened and how they lined up, you'll understand why I'm a little off my game, so to speak, this week. So first off, this week I saw an article where a comic book recently sold for a heck of a lot of money. Now, I've collected comic books when I was growing up. I can't remember a time where I didn't have a comic book available to me when I was younger. It was a great escape for a lot of other issues that were going on in my life. And I just started collecting them. And when Ann and I started dating, we'd go on trips and we'd stop at flea markets and I would find treasures and it was good. And I never really thought anything of it. I just put them in a box and go forward. And then when we got married and the kids came, I said, you know, I really can't afford to do this anymore. As much as I valued collecting these, I had to put my value elsewhere. So when I saw this article about this comic book that I sold for, like I said, an ungodly amount of money, I said, I went through the boxes and I found that I had an issue that was sold. Now, I looked at what it's really worth, and the condition of the book kind of dictates what the value is, and it ranges from probably worth several $100s to possibility tens of thousands of dollars. I really don't know, because part of the dirty little secret in collecting comic books is you can put a value on something, but it's what the person is willing to pay to buy it from you. That really kind of puts the value up there. So we're still trying to figure out why this issue that I have and somebody was able to sell one for a lot of money. So that's been like, wow, that's pretty cool. And we're going to figure something out. But then also during the week, I read some emails, some letters of members who are concerned. I'm not going to say complain, but concerned about the recent price increase that we had in Topps. Now, I can tell you that the new pricing, the pricing for the new members has been going very well. Half of the new members have bought the basic package, and the other half are evenly split between the plus and the deluxe package. So obviously, they're seeing some value in these packages for what they need on their journey to a healthy lifestyle. But for current members, the $5 increase, like I said, I've been getting some opinions. That's a good way of putting it, opinions. And I asked for people to share their thoughts, and that's fine. But again, just how things kind of roll into place a week, I'm reading that, you know, some chapters are disbanding because of the price increase. So that makes me stop to reflect value. When you try to feel, or when you try to think about, well, something's important or how people value things, some of us think, you know, $5, okay. And I'm sensitive to the fact that we are all on tight budgets, but so is Topps. Just because we're a nonprofit doesn't mean everything is free. We still have cost as an organization, and the chore is to keep the costs low so people can afford, realizing that people think values are arbitrary, maybe. Again, going back to the comic book story, is like, depends on what somebody really wants is what they'll pay for. And I look at the value of Topps News, which, costs money to produce. And I was reflecting on the very first time as president, I went to the IRD in Montreal. And because of the timing of situation, Topps News wasn't ready to ship to the site. So they shipped the boxes to me in my home in Maine. And I was driving to Montreal, so I would just drive them to the site. But when I got to the border, custom agents want to know what was in the boxes. And I said, they're copies of magazines that we give to our members called Topps News. And he says, there's no price on the issue. So he says, how do we determine the value? And I said, well, that's not a problem because they're priceless. Folks, that's when I learned that custom agents don't necessarily have the sense of humor like I have. But again, it's another example of, I think the Topps News is priceless, that, it's just worth so much that how do you put a number on it? But he needed a number, and luckily I had paperwork and we were able to continue on our journey. But going back to how we put a value and how we look at price increases and things that we want to do, we choose what we want to do. And I certainly respect the folks that are having issues with pricing and people are on fixed incomes. I get it. But also I do know that when Ann and I were leader and co-leader of our chapter many, many years ago, we would listen to the members. We would listen to who is having a hard time. And as a chapter, we took care of those members because we know, or the value that we assigned on Topps, on how we were and what we were getting out of it in our minds was priceless. We wanted to make sure that these members who were struggling had the same opportunity as others, which is why we try and do the best we can to keep the price as low as possible, realizing a lot of us feel that it is the best deal in town and it is priceless. So as we go forward and the week is progressing and I'm seeing these and we're looking at how things are progressing and with membership and looking at starting new chapters all across Topps Nation, I get another letter. A letter from a member who has been with us for quite some time. And I opened the letter. It was forwarded to me from headquarters. And what this member did was she took the time to write a note. I know people don't write notes anymore, but she wrote a note, put it with her renewal, apologizing that she was unable to renew because she had just received a notice that she was terminally ill and that she wouldn't be with us much longer. So here's a member who was facing, an untimely death that just things happen, and with the illness that she had, she took the time to write Topps a note, apologizing that she was unable to renew and thanking everybody for the friendships that she made as a Topps member. Talk about value. She saw the true value of what we're all about. And to take that moment of time in what I can't imagine what this member is going through, to write a note, just hit me. It just literally knocked me off this week. From trying to figure out a comic book that I probably got many, many, many years ago, sitting in a box that might be worth something, that maybe even if it's worth a lot of money, I might not want to part with it because it's something that I value. To hearing folks give me their opinions on price increases on tops, and trying to figure out, well, why aren't chapters helping each other out? Because that's what we do. We support each other like that. And then to get that note from that member. I know what tops is all about, and I know how I assign a value to it. We can't. It's priceless. It really, truly is priceless. So as I come to the weekend, I'm not sure where my head is, as I just look at what's going on in the world, things that we have no control of, but we can control what we put a value on. And I just tried to call this member and I was unable to reach her. I left her hopefully a positive note saying that all of Tops Nation is thinking about her and just wish her well. And realize that, when I think about is something worth it, I'm going to remember that note. I'll see you next Friday.